the second overall pick, and you mentioned the Jets, how they've got a ton of cap space. I mean, they hold so many cards. I mean, the dominoes tumble in a way that affects so many other teams, because we're assuming the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, because Urban Meyer's not taking this swing at the NFL without the guarantee of somebody generationally talented like him being able to be right in front of him and for his choosing. So we're just going to put that aside. You wrote a piece about all 5 of the first round graded quarterbacks for NFL.com, including Lawrence. So the Jets have that second overall pick. The Texans hold a card too. If they do decide to put Deshaun Watson on the table, that might affect the Jets' thinking because of their draft capital that they have as well. What did you glean from all of the scouts and evaluators about these quarterbacks that can give us a little bit of a roadmap how the next 6-7 weeks are going to play out, Tom?
Well, let's start with Trevor Lawrence. In my time doing this story, and usually I write it going into the combine, there was no true combine this year, so I did it in advance of Trey Lance's pro day as we really get into pre-draft season starting tomorrow. In all my years, I can't think of another quarterback who was as free of questions going into the draft process as Trevor Lawrence. Even last year, when Joe Burrow was the prohibitive favorite, you had a lot of scouts who would put 4th, 5th round grades on Joe Burrow the prior year, who were talking about how, his arm strength is not at the top of this class, athletic ability is not at the top of this class, 1-year producer, all those types of questions. With Trevor Lawrence, everyone goes, yeah, you'd like him maybe to have a few more pounds on him. You wonder a little bit why he didn't play better against LSU, why he didn't play better against Ohio State, but he also, beat up Alabama pretty good as a true freshman in a 15-0 season. He's a guy that nobody really questions, and nobody says that they would have an issue taking him number 1 overall. The only real debate there is just, is he the best suited player to run the offense that Urban Meyer has preferred in the past, which is going to be, have some zone read elements. Not that Trevor Lawrence can't do that, because he is, a tall kid. He's a good athlete. He's obviously intelligent. It's really more a matter of, do you want to expose him to getting hit a little bit more than he necessarily was at Clemson? But the consensus is he goes number 1. The consensus, based on everyone I've spoken to so far, is that Zach Wilson is the second quarterback and quite likely the number 2 overall pick, whether that goes to the Jets or someone else. With Zach Wilson, he is a 1-year type of a producer. Obviously, he had a fantastic season last year at BYU. Smaller, he's undersized. He's had an injury history, torn labrum, broken thumb. That stuff kind of put him behind in 2019, cost him some time, and obviously had him fighting for his job come last August and September, but took advantage of it. The big questions there are going to be the durability and also just what kind of a leader is Zach Wilson, because teams certainly have heard, and some of this has been written, that he's confident, borderline cocky. I had one high-ranking executive refer to it as Baker Mayfield syndrome, where he's got that edge, and he's a guy who you like it up to a point. But then when things go sideways, if you're not playing well, can you toe that same kind of a line? So there's definitely an evaluation going on there, but, the tape is impressive. I mean, he comes across as a gunslinger. Teams like that, the way that he can fit some throws in. And so certainly he seems to be on solid ground. Where things really get interesting is going to be the 3rd, 4th, 5th quarterbacks taken, because Mac Jones has picked up steam from Alabama. He helped himself on and off the field, really, at the Senior Bowl. The only one of those top 5 quarterbacks who got to go to an all-star game this year, which also means because of the COVID restrictions, he's the only guy who has had face-to-face in-person time with any NFL team so far in the pre-draft process. Some of the others might get it at pro days, but even that is up to the school. NFL teams are not allowed to set up dinner, visits, nothing. They're not even allowed to set up time to speak with the player at the pro day unless the school specifically puts it on the schedule. So Mac Jones got a little bit ahead. He's somebody who teams wanted to dig into from a personality perspective, because some of the word out of the school early on, particularly when he was backing up to Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts, was just that he was a hothead. He's a former tennis player who was pretty good as a kid. He would have, he was kind of the John McEnroe, it sounds like, of the youth tennis circuit, where he'd have some fits, and there was a question about mental toughness, but he answered a lot of that. He's really highly regarded in terms of his football IQ. His preparation is really good. He's just not the best athlete in the class. He doesn't have the best arm in the class. So the question with him is just, how much better can he get? The floor is high, but where's the ceiling? Can he be a top starter, or does he top out as a borderline starter, top backup type of a guy?
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.